Our next group is Free Cycles, and we have Bob Giordano,
Pretty good.
and Emily Jensen. Bob is the founder and executive director of Free Cycles and the Missoula Institute for Sustainable Transportation, established in 1997. After hearing about the concept of free bikes on the streets corners of Portland, Bob has made it a long-time passion to use the bicycle to ignite healthy community design and bring people together. He's most happy about the relationships that have formed around the organization and his role in helping to grow a strong community center, as well as providing a continual push for active and accessible transportation. Emily just immersed herself in an internship with Free Cycles and Missoula Institute for Sustainable Transportation during the winter of 2015. Focusing on transportation-related climate change solutions, she received her bachelor's in social work from the University of Montana in 2016 and has been working full-time with Free Cycles ever since. Emily leads monthly women's bicycle maintenance workshops and plays a large role in helping ensure the community shop is an open and welcoming environment for all people. Let's give it up for Bob and Emily.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Nikki. Thanks, Women's Giving Circle, Katie, Karen. I just want to give you all the money. Let's roof it. Let's get zero waste going. We're going to make a pitch, though. We have to. We do important work. I'll just say that. Can you start with that first slide, please? The backdrop to the backdrop is when I came out west in the early to mid-90s, I realized my business management degree was not going to fulfill me. The cubicle corporate thing had a role, but it was not in my soul. When I saw clear cuts in Washington and learned that our rivers can be toxic and we waste things, I said I'm going back to school. And right here in Montana University, resource conservation. It took a long time to get to a graduate program because I worked starting Free Cycles into that graduate program. Hearing about free yellow bicycles on the street corners of Portland was very intriguing. 96, 97, 98, late 1900s, that's all Free Cycles was. Green bicycles on street corners. The support was overwhelming. Schools, businesses, that's one of the 50 original green bikes. Mountain Goat sponsored one for $50. Right away, we knew, a small group of us doing this, that there needed to be a lot more. Festivals, advocacy, education, a community shop. The reason we were doing this got back to that desire in myself of overconsumption, congestion, pollution, our communities, the impact of our communities spreading onto our wildlands. It's been a long journey. It's been slow growth. It's been organic growth. And it kind of culminated into the next phase in 2016. Over on First Street, for 10 years, we had this community bike shop. It was great. Worked with so many different people. And I will say that that environmental desire really grew inside of me and the organization to a social desire, people working together. That's what I love about teaching about bikes, not just active transportation, reducing pollution, but meeting people, never met before, having those conversations, making environmental advocates. The whole property, what you see colored here, was up for sale in 2016. The previous owners said, we're done with our steel business, we're done with the renting, we're going to sell it. Long story short, we said, give us a chance. We received the chance, 6 months to raise $1.1 million to buy a 2-acre property with a 28,000 square foot building. No one thought we could do it. Emily and I knew we could do something. Yes.
At least try.
Yes. Why not try? We raised $200,000 in cash in 6 months. It wasn't the whole goal, but that was enough for a down payment and for a local anonymous social investor to loan us the other $1 million, give or take, to buy this property. 10 tenants in the blue, Zoo City Apparel. Now there's a mushroom grower, a yoga studio, a clay studio. We've been pretty savvy. That old business management degree, polished it off, dusted it off. Okay, all we have to do is rent enough space to cover a mortgage. in taxes and insurance, and it's working. It's barely. We're doing it though. Fixing heaters and patching roofs and keeping tenants happy, and still working with the community on bicycling and sustainable transportation and city design. I'm now an employee, Emily's an employee, and part of our ask is to bring another person on board.
Just to give you guys a brief update, I don't know if any of you know Climate Smart Missoula, but they're another environmentally focused local action group, and they released a report in 2016 that said 37% of Missoula's carbon emissions come from the transportation sector. And that is the largest number out of all the other categories that were involved in that report. Another interesting statistic, 10 million miles of car trips are under a mile each year in the US. So that's a very short distance.
Okay, thanks, Emily. Free Cycles really started to address environmental issues. Air quality in Missoula, it's a lovely place, but we have inversions, we get air pollution challenges. Congestion, we keep widening streets, and there's other ways to do this. And we thought, all right, recycling, repurposing bicycles would be a great way to help this community. And Missoula can be an example, a world leader. Community models can spread like wildfire, like a virus, like a positive virus. And if anyone can do it, if any place can do it, Missoula can. Free Cycles, we're here to repurpose bikes, bring people together, and we've developed ways to do that. And as Emily was alluding to, there's some stats out there about just biking instead of driving, seeing your community, walking, transit, and biking. Biking is often the missing piece. Next slide, please. We've developed these 4 core values over time, really important to us, really from the heart. Accessible transportation for everyone. Civic engagement, let's work together to build bikes and figure this out. Reuse and recycle, there's enough new things around. A lot of bikes go to waste in this community. And environmental stewardship, that's kind of the heart. Let's all take care of this place we love. We have a community shop. I showed you the slide about buying the property. We have a space that we really cherish. People come together to work on bikes. And Build a Bike is perhaps the heart of that. People take a bike well class. That's an orientation that goes over bike laws. It goes over people being environmental stewards. We take a tour of the shop and people are really ready to build a bike. We have so many bikes donated. We put the best ones in our giant bike barn. People do a class. They volunteer 4 hours, helping us in a variety of ways to keep the community center running. Sweeping, patching the roof, it's really a whole variety of tasks. And then they build a bike. If you've been to Free Cycles, you know it's charming buildings. This is the People's Project Room where if someone starts a bike and doesn't finish, they can store it there for a little while. You often start with a bike, maybe not in quite this disarray, but there's pieces, millions, hundreds of pieces that we teach people and show them how to bring it back together into a bike. Some examples, she built her first touring bike. That young man, he had a mountain bike already, but you don't see this often, but he wanted a townie to get to school, almost more of a European culture. And Missoula's got some flavor of European cities. That's why we know we're primed to put more bikes on the street. And through our umbrella, Missoula Institute for Sustainable Transportation, create the infrastructure. Missoula's doing a good job. We are one of the organizations that push, that make it easier for people, I think his name's Edwin, to be able to bike around this town. They're high school students. They build bikes not only for themselves, they build extra bikes for refugees that are coming to our city. Refugees don't drive often. The bus is okay, it doesn't get you everywhere. Walking's okay, but the car has spread out our cultures, our cities. The bike is a key piece. She built a road bike. She also had a mountain bike, but road bikes can be a fast way to get around. Students from Japan, so we are a hub that people from all over the world, it goes back to us creating a model. We get postcards from people thanking us for building a bike in Missoula from almost every country on this planet. We've facilitated a lot of bike builds over the last 23 years. Luda, she built a giant bike, a cruiser. Her volunteer time, she said she was an artist, and you can tell she built us a new sandwich board that shows our open hours that we put out every morning in front of the community shop. She's 92. She did not build that bike by herself. We assisted a lot, and she brought us a scrumptious plate of chocolate chip cookies. We do trades, we have these guidelines like you build the bike, but we get in there and we help too. It depends on the circumstance. This gentleman, he's kind of a very good example. He keeps coming back. This is not, we sell you a bike, this is not, you quickly put the bike together and off you go. There's a process, there's relationships that are built. We also have our open shop program, and anyone can fix a bike, whether they got it at Free Cycles, a box store, a retail shop, a garage sale. 2 key programs, open shop and build a bike. And build a bike is where we need some help, and it's the funding piece we're asking for in this process. All 3 of them, middle school and high school students, they're building bikes. We're seeing students wanting to be involved, and the bike is one of the easiest ways, although it can be challenging, just to say, I'm gonna, instead of driving for this trip, I'm gonna bike. Not everyone has to bike all the time, but we really see a niche that if we can bike more often, have more access to bikes, and have better infrastructure, then there's no reason Missoula can't be that world leader. Kids, we just hired a youth cycles coordinator with a grant. Build a bike in this program that we're here presenting on today is maybe the next, if not the key piece of making Free Cycles come a little bit more to fruition, blooming in this city. Just people working together. It's exciting. We get excited. People get excited. It's infectious. We're asking for the $10,000 to be put towards seed money that will hire someone who's quality with bikes, but more importantly, quality with people. We started as an environmental, almost radical organization wanting to get to the root of some of the challenges in society. It's complemented by social work. Emily's a social work major. I've become a social work major. That is so critical that people work together, have positive language, positive attitude. The bike skills can come, but people working from the heart with their hands, that's the people we're looking for. We want to strengthen the quality of service. We're stretched so thin some days. We can have 200 people come into the community shop on a summer day. We still have at least 50 people a day in the winter, in blizzards. People who rely on the bike, who want to de-thaw their bike, who want to oil their chain, want to patch a flat, who have to. Some people bike by choice, some people bike by necessity, and we're there for everyone, that accessible transportation. This position would really help us strengthen quality of service. We have about $10,000 we've set aside that can match this funding and help us hire someone. Creates an employment position that's important in our economy, in our community. We have 3 employees now. Myself as executive director, Emily's programs director. We now have a youth cycles coordinator, and this would be a build a bike coordinator. That would free up some time for the rest of the staff to do fundraising, of course. It would allow us to also bloom civic cycles, that's citizens investing in community. That's our sale program. It's not an emphasis, but like Home Resource, we do have products we can sell, and some people who don't have the time or energy to build their own bike, we'll do that for them. So we have a diverse array. I have a business management degree, and I know that diversity in funding is actually really critical. A prize of $10,000, a grant, events, a donation box which we have, they all strengthen an organization, and we're just really honored, psyched, primed to continue being in Missoula and help this community grow in the most healthy way